What if I told you the biggest sign of brand alignment isn't your revenue? You're not flaky. You're just fed up doing the right things for all the wrong reasons. Because no matter how booked your calendar or how pretty your feed, if your brand feels off, then it's not going to be sustainable. In this video, I'm breaking down how to shift from doubt and overthinking to clarity and conviction without burning it all down to start over. Because heaven help me, who has time for that? Most high-performing women don't lack results. They're just exhausted from constantly adjusting who they are to fit what they've built. And if your brand no longer feels like home, that's not a sign you're confused. It's a signal that you've outgrown your positioning and you're ready to lead from truth. Alignment isn't just about aesthetics, it's about energetic integrity. Because when you're bland, woo, we're really talking today, y'all. Because when your brand mirrors your actual power, you don't just get clients, you get right fit clients. And what I mean by right fit clients is those wonderful, incredible champagne clientele that I'm always talking about, who respect your rhythm, honor your boundaries, and trust your brilliance. That's when your brand stops performing and starts becoming your most honest expression. So let's walk through these 3 Luxe signals that reveal if your brand is working for you or against you. And we're going to talk about how to spot energetic alignment, the difference between reach and resonance, and we're going to go through a few questions that allow you to test every move and to see if you are in alignment or if we need to start making changes and what steps you can take to make those changes. Let's get you back to building with certainty. So the first signal is energetic misalignment. Just because your brand is successful, it doesn't mean it's right. So I have a really good friend of mine. We meet every single Friday for accountability. We do very similar work. She helps people who are looking to leave corporate and turn their corporate expertise into a successful brand. I help women-led businesses. I cannot believe I just said I help. If you know, you know. But these women-led businesses come to me because they trust me to really bring through their full voice and build the next level of their brand so they can start making high 6 figures, 7 figures with a brand that is in alignment with what it is that they do. And so our work is very much in alignment with each other. We're constantly working together and finding ways to build each other up. And recently she was at a conference in LA because she's the cool one and gets to live in LA. And she calls me and I was like, hey, what's up? I'm about to actually record some of these YouTube videos. And she was like, I don't think I want to do high ticket coaching anymore. Matter of fact, I don't even think I like working with folks who are ex-corporate. I really want to help people transition out. And as she's sharing this with me, I could just hear her whole heart start to expand. And she was really passionate about it in a way that she was never really passionate about doing brands or ads, which is what her ex-corporate experience was in. She was really passionate about people understanding the money portion of leaving and the things that they need to do to get in place in order to leave corporate. And when she started talking about that and a different way that she wanted to do her business, I looked at her and I literally said, I think that our next meeting should be you brainstorming with me. And so our next meeting is all going to be about her taking the second step in my process, which is to brainstorm. And that is where I'm going to ask her a series of questions to really uncover her voice and get all of that happiness and joy that she had speaking to me on the phone about it and turn that into what's probably going to be her $1 million moneymaker. To be continued on that story. But the point that I'm trying to make is, does your brand make you happy? Does it light you up when you talk about it? Are you excited to share what it is that you do? If the answer is no, even if it's bringing in tons of money, we got to turn the ship around because it's a fast track to burnout. Signal number 2 is reach versus resonance. I don't know how many times I have to talk to people and their addiction to if something went viral or not. It doesn't matter. If it went viral and you didn't get paid, what's the point? And don't tell me brand awareness, because brand awareness is just a beautiful set of trigger words for we want more people to know we exist so we can make more money. I'll just let that land for a second. So, reach versus resonance. High numbers don't mean high connection. Okay? If you're attracting attention but not alignment, it's time to refine, not get louder. So, I want you to look at your last 3 discovery calls, your last 3 proposals, and check yourself and say, did they already believe in your value? As in, they didn't try to negotiate with you. They didn't try to ask a bunch of questions that your website should have answered. They aren't trying to bargain with you. If they're bargaining with you, then you've got to get your message clear, and it's a sign that you are out of alignment. Okay? That's how we know this is not working. So I recently was doing a brainstorm for someone, and she's moving on to doing a Making Waves intensive with me. But my favorite part of that entire call was we went through the brainstorm, which is a strategy that I share with them what they need to start doing and what she needs to stop doing. And then we get to the point where it shares what a project would look like if we were to do it together in an intensive. And I had pre-sent this to her. We were both incredibly busy women, and she was ready to start negotiating on one piece of it. And then by the time we'd gone through it, she goes, I need that, don't I? And I go, you absolutely need that. And it's kind of a package deal. And there's no bargaining. There was nothing, paid in full, boom. And so we've got to get you to a point where you can have an interaction like within the brainstorm process, where you can get easy yeses, because it would be more expensive for them to do it without you, but it's also going to be a great feeling for you because you're working with champagne clientele and you're not out of alignment because nobody's bargaining with you anymore. And then signal number 3 is to truly ask yourself these 3 questions at every touch point. In order to create a brand extraordinary life, a brand extraordinary business, there are 3 questions I always ask myself when I am going through any type of copy that I've written or content. And I ask myself this: does it reflect my actual voice? If you were to read something that I have written, does it sound like I'm talking right now? 9 times out of 10, absolutely. Matter of fact, it probably is a little sassier because it's late and I'm getting tired, and I can tell just by looking at my sweet little eyeballs right now. Then the next question I ask myself is, does this respect my energy? Does this respect the way I want to do business? For me, overarchingly, that is, does it give me time to be a mom? If it takes me away from being a mom, I don't want to do it. Matter of fact, I'm not going to do it. That's not why I built a business. If that was the case, I would just go back to having a job. And then lastly, does it repel the wrong rooms? Not does it attract my right audience? Does it repel the ones I don't want to work with? Because if it doesn't repel those folks, it means I'm attracting everybody. And to be that beautiful saying, I rather be if you are everything to everybody, then you are nothing to somebody. So I don't want to be nothing to somebody. I much rather be, that is not the right saying. Because if you are everything to everybody, then you are nothing to no one. And quite frankly, I rather be in the rooms with the people who want me to be their someone and the someone who's going to elevate their brand. For those who are just playing around and might want to make a social media post or two, but are too afraid to post it, I'm not their girl. I'm simply not their girl. So go through, ask yourself those 3 questions. Does it reflect my actual voice? Does it respect my energy in the way that I want to do business? And does it repel the wrong rooms? Because if it's doing those 3 things, then you are in alignment and you're going to be in a great spot. But if it's not doing those 3 things, then use this to give yourself permission that you didn't know you needed, because the next action that you need to take is to book a Brand Muta Brand Breakthrough. Brand Muta Brand Breakthrough is probably the wildest thing that I ever offer. I have one of my clients who told me it was the most valuable thing she has gotten for her business. And what it is I send you a Loom video based on the goals that you share with me. And I go through your website and some of your digital presence to share where you are leaking dream dollars and where your voice is not being heard in the way that you intended it to be. Because when you're not being heard in the way that you intended to, you're out of alignment. And that is going, like I said earlier, a fast track to burnout. And it's going to hold you back from creating the impact that you were always meant to have. So if you're interested, it's in the description box below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. And thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.